this
Oh, there
Zoom.
you are.
Yeah.
Well, good day to you.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning, man. Sorry about the mess up.
No worries. But that's why I've been asking you many times, like, hey man, can you already send me the details? Because I'm like a really super organized guy and I schedule everything and like
That's
this.
good. That's good.
You know,
Good for
in
you.
my day job, I'm a project manager. So
Yeah.
that's part of the thing where I just keep everything organized in my job and on my spare time, you know.
What kind of work do you do on the side?
Uh oh, you mean, my main job?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I work in a big IT company
Oh,
and
awesome.
project manager's job is like lead other people and projects and
Yeah,
make sure that everything is done in the schedule, in the budget, all these kind of
yeah.
things.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And where are you
Yeah.
located, by the way?
I'm sitting in Tampere, Finland.
Finland. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the Rooster Show de la Rocka. And now I
Thank
see
you.
how I spelt it wrong. So I
Yeah.
apologize about that too. I am
No worries.
much
It
love to
keeps
you.
happening. It keeps happening. And
Hey man, I'm almost
actually,
52. Okay, so
no worries. I'm actually turning 40 this year.
well, look good for your age. Good job.
Thank you.
Got to stay young and fresh. So
Yeah.
tell me about your life about with music. Tell me about your career. How did you get into playing music and write music?
Well, first of all, I've been playing guitar for 20 years and I've been singing for 10 years.
Oh,
So the guitar has always been the main theme and the main thing. And
oh yeah,
at some point, I just started figuring out like, well, actually, the reason for starting doing vocals in the beginning was quite simple. It was like, when somebody comes to visit me, we're having like some kind of like meeting with our friends, just sitting here and
yeah.
drinking beer, and somebody goes like, "Hey, Pano, why don't you play us some guitar?" And then I start playing some guitar, and then I realize that it's really fucking boring when you cannot sing anything to them, at the same time. And everybody goes like, "Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh." And then I think like, damn, maybe I should start like doing some vocals also. So
that's
that's how it started.
that's wonderful.
And yeah, and then like I have a background in metal bands. I've been playing in a thrash metal band, which was in 2006, 2007, something like this. After that, I played in a grindcore band.
Mm.
After that, when I moved here to Tampere, I played in a death metal band. And then when that was all over for me, then I started like going back to basics and playing just some 50s stuff, like really old
Rockabilly.
classic rockabilly stuff. And then
Yeah.
I realized that the metal background came back to me in the way that I was playing like the kind of like a 50s riffs, but I started noticing that I tend to put just a little bit more distortion and
Oh yeah. Of course.
started like a distorting my voice just a little bit and doing faster, and I was like, fuck, this is basically just playing psychobilly. So that's how it clicked. And then
Awesome.
I had this one band here in Finland called Graveyard Bashers, and it
Cool
was
name.
like yeah, it was like a well, actually the poster is there behind me,
That's
but like
awesome.
a yeah. Anyways, and that band take took like influence from this kind of like a Brazilian type of bands like Os Catalepticos and Six Sinners, and I don't know if you are
Hmm.
familiar with these bands,
No, not all, not all, no, not
but
a
it's
lot of
like this.
not grindcore. Is that what you're talking about?
No, psychobilly.
Psychobilly. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically what the
I
Brazilians
actually
are.
don't know too much about psychobilly, and I'd like you to tell
Oh,
me in a little bit of, if you know some history
oh,
about it.
okay. sure.
Yeah.
So
I'm more a
basically,
punk rocker, man. Back in the
yeah,
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 I'm
yeah.
punk rocker and goth rocker, yeah. So
That's totally cool. So how I always like describe if somebody asks like what's this psychobilly thing, like how would you describe it? I would basically say that it's like rockabilly on adrenaline, you know? So you
that's it.
basically take all the cool shit from punk rock and
Yeah.
these kind of things, and then you put it in the same buckets with the rockabilly stuff and give it a good shake, and what comes out is something like psychobillish.
Okay, what do you put Reverend Horton Heat under?
It's basically psychobilly.
Yeah, psychedelic.
They
Okay, yeah.
they also have this song like it's a psychobilly freakout.
Okay, that's right. Yes, they do
Yeah.
actually. Okay, yeah. Okay, now I don't understand the sound you're talking about.
Yeah. But
Yeah, well, yeah.
also like Reverend Horton Heat is like this kind of band that's the kind of band that I admire in the way that if you go to a Reverend Horton Heat gig, you see a lot of different kinds of folk in there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
not like super specific because they don't probably want to be in a very specific kind of like a genre, like
Exactly.
somebody pointing out like you are this. They
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
be in this
exactly.
kind of
No,
space.
I don't like anything like that. No, I don't like this say putting out genres, and all that stuff. It's always
Yeah, and
kind of
you
weird.
know, I
It's
talk.
just go out and write your music and play your music and do what
Yeah,
you need to do. You know what I mean? Just it doesn't have to have
exactly.
a
and
name
and
behind it.
and this is exactly, because I talk a lot with Vic from Coughing Cats. Probably you
Yes,
are quite
yes,
quite familiar with Coughing
yes,
Cats.
I am.
So
Coffee cats,
I
definitely.
talk yeah, so I talk a lot with Vic, and Vic has made very clear to me on many occasions that also Coughing Cats like to have this kind of thing where they go to play a gig anywhere and they see all kinds of people there, like they see punk
That's right.
people, metalheads, just regular people. Everybody is there.
Hell yeah, unity, buddy, unity. That's what
Yeah.
it's all about, man. Music brings people together. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's awesome. It's wonderful. So tell me about your early years. What got you into playing guitar? Were did you have family that were musicians?
No, well, actually, this this thing with the guitar was my second choice. The first one was drums, and
Okay.
I used to have this friend who played drums, but he was also this kind of like a really artsy dude, and he only um, lived in the night. And I was going to school and doing two jobs at the same time. And I was like, I was trying to go to his place and practice on the drums, and it was just too much. And I was so frustrated, like, I want to play something.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then, yeah, and then on my class in the school, there was this one guy who was like really looking like a fancy artist. Like, he had this kind of like a really big kind of hippie hat. I don't know how to describe it. Like but like this kind of really colorful and big
Yeah,
hat.
yeah, big old
So y-
flamboyant, flamboyant.
yes.
Got it.
So I determined that if you want to know something about art, you go to the guy with the biggest hat. And I was right. I asked from him like, "Hey, do you play guitar?" And he said, "Yeah, I have many bands and I do like audio mixing on gigs and everything and lights and everything." And I was like, "Yes, can you teach me how to play guitar?"
That's awesome. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
obviously like
awesome.
the basic stuff like with everybody starts doing when they start practicing guitar, like at least they did in the 90s and 2000s, is they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
go for the Metallica riffs and all the familiar riffs that everybody knows.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
Stairway to Heaven, of course.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
All this kind of basic stuff, basic stuff.
yeah.
So I started from somewhere in there, but actually I think that the first song I ever learned to play with the guitar from start to finish was Dick Dale and the Deltones' Miserlou.
Ah, okay. I have heard of him.
Yeah.
So wonderful. That's awesome. Good job. So
Yeah.
do you still have your first guitar, by the way?
No, but my friend has it actually in his
Oh,
basement.
oh, that's sad. It
Yeah.
needs to be on your wall, man.
But it was like well, I know it's like
Your
it could
wall of
be there,
fame.
yeah. Yeah. But it was like a really cheap guitar, and I just asked from the guy with the big hat. I asked from him like, what would be a cheap beginner's guitar, and he told me that yeah, I think you should go for the Squire Stratocaster, and that's what I
Yeah.
did.
Oh, that's a Stratocaster. I like
Yeah.
I actually really love Ibanez a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Ibanez is one of my favorite guitars. I actually got an Ibanez bass and Ibanez acoustic, Ibanez electric. I love them.
Yeah, I've
So
also had when I started playing in the first psychobilly band, the Graveyard Bashers, I actually had a semi-acoustic from Ibanez, and it was actually really good. But at some point, I went to the place where all the rockabilly and the psychobilly guys go, and that's Gretsch.
oh yes. Don't tell me you have a big red cherry one.
I do.
Oh no,
Yeah, it's
goodness.
actually dark cherry stain is the very specific color, but
Oh, that's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. So tell me about what's your project you're working on right now, like your rock belly project. What's it called?
Psychobilly project.
Psychedelic, my bad.
Yes. Okay, so yeah. So anyways, I've already made kind of like a two releases, and the full album is coming this year. I have three music videos that you can see right now on YouTube.
Ooh, I have
The
to check
first
that out.
one, yeah, the first one I did was with this very psychobilly legend from Denmark. He is from a band called Godless Wicked Creeps. It's like a very well-known old band in the psychobilly scene. Then I did another music video with this Irish guy called Titch from a band called Klingons.
Yeah.
And then obviously the third music video with which was with Vic from Coffin Cats.
Ah, that's
Have
awesome.
have you seen the
Wonderful.
video?
No, I have not seen any of them. I didn't know they existed.
Oh, they did.
I
Well,
will
you have
see it
been
right after.
you have been following me on social media, so I kind of assumed that maybe you did
Oh my
just a little bit
goodness, dude.
research.
I've done a little bit, but I have so many bands. It's like
Yeah.
it's actually kind of disturbing how many bands I have. Hundreds, hundreds is yeah, it clutters all in my head. Sometimes they all become one band.
Oh, okay. Well, if there's something good in all this is that now you this
oh,
basically kind of like a builds up the hype. So now when you go to see the music
exactly.
videos, you are really hyped and the expectations are
Hell
very
yeah, of
high.
course. Yes, they are. They are very high. I'm actually excited. I
But
am
yeah,
excited to know about it.
but yeah, I must tell you that first of all, the song I did with Vic is called "Invasion of the Robots," and it basically it's kind of like a sci-fi song and
Ah, cool.
tongue in cheek, but also it's just a little bit commentary on the current situation we have in this reality. At least here in Finland, you can just walk to the street and you'll see these kind of robots going on to the street, and people are
Ah,
making, yeah, like they're basically like automated shopping carts. Like somebody can order something from a like a grocery store, and they will deliver it with this kind of like a robot to your home.
no way.
Yeah, and there's
Wow.
I've seen videos like in US they have like a security robots patrolling around some buildings and
Huh.
all this kind of
Not in Idaho, man. Not in Idaho.
oh
No, we just still have potatoes, man. We have
maybe
potatoes. Yeah,
maybe I should move there
yeah, they're
to
good.
be in peace from all
Yeah.
these
Well,
technology. But
you could turn the potatoes into moonshine. You know what I mean?
yeah, I've heard about this and I've tasted it. It's good.
It is good, actually. I had
Yes.
a watermelon one time. watermelon moonshine. It was wonderful. Oh my lord. So tell me
but
about your
but yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
about the song. Yeah, the inspiration came from all these people posting like all these kind of robot shit from around the world.
Yeah.
And also it's a kind of like a commentary on the fact that you have like a really big discussion nowadays about people using AI created artwork
Mm.
on albums, like album covers, and
Yeah.
people just forgetting about the actual artists that they used to work with to draw, like actual drawings,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
cool
Yeah.
paintings and drawings to have like a and just ditching those people and going to free and easy AI art, just typing shit, and then you
Yeah.
have like this really ugly, soulless kind of like a cover, and then you put it on an album cover, you start selling the album, and you're a cheap bastard, you know?
You know what? There's a band that I did an interview with called Strong Arm and the Bullies. I don't know if
Mm,
you heard of them, but
nope.
they're my Instagram and all that stuff. And but
Yeah.
they had a gentleman. They paid him to make a painting. He actually
Mm,
did a full painting
yeah.
for their album cover.
Yeah.
They put that on their album cover.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
And
Uh,
and I actually have this this French guy who is quite known, like a comic book artist,
ah,
called Pascal, and I've actually had him design some stuff for me, and I can show you. Actually, I have here. This is a 7-inch vinyl, which is coming out soon in a
ooh,
just a little bit bigger, kind of
I like your
like a
font. That's
like a big,
nice.
yeah. So this was a super limited release, like only 26 copies, because this was for a special gig we had,
Wow.
but like 200 copies are coming really soon, and this is like this French artist who designed this artwork,
That's gorgeous.
and that's handmade, no fucking AI art involved.
That's nice. That's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
badass.
So I'm like
You're lucky.
usually when I have some kind of like opinions about something, I usually try to keep it to myself and let everybody do as they please, you know?
Exactly.
And
Yeah, me
it
too.
doesn't concern me, but this is something that I've for some reason I've taken so personally that I've been speaking about this quite loudly.
That's good. That's all right. This is
Yeah.
actually a good subject to speak about. I mean, a lot of the things that they're talking about these days with the government and the gender war thing going on, or
Yeah, yeah,
he,
yeah.
him, her thing, everything is just driving me nuts. You know, so I have to block all of that out. I do. I have
Yeah.
to. It's not what this show's about, and that's why I don't even talk about it ever on this show.
Yeah,
None of
yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. But that actually is a good thing to talk about because
Yeah.
yeah, we need that realism, that 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 human touch. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes,
So
and you can see the soul in that kind of art when somebody
you can.
actually does it with their own two hands.
Yes, it's
So,
awesome.
anyways, the music video and the song Invasion of the Robots, that's what it's all about. And I'm really, really, really proud of that song. And you
Great.
will also be really happy about it after you go check it out after
I
this
will.
interview.
I will check it out after this, and I'll see about trying to get it at the end of the interview if you want. We could probably,
Yes. Yes,
is
please.
there if there's a way that could you send an MP4 of it, of the video,
I think, yeah.
and
Sure.
I could put it at the end of it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
sure.
that everybody can see it that watches this. So it'll be a
Yeah.
good advertisement.
Yes.
So tell me about your creative process. How do you come about writing your music? What goes through your head before you write down? Do you have to start coming up with a tempo, a beat, or a rhythm,
It depends on
or
the song, but actually the thing is that uh, there is only one thing that I try to keep out of my songs actually, and that's like because some artists find the inspiration for writing songs from their own personal lives,
yeah,
and I do the opposite. basically, because I want to
Ah,
escape from all the horrible reality and go to a safe, better place, with just some fantasy stuff.
yes,
So
sir. Got it.
that's why I have songs on my album about um, UFOs, robots, some terrible. Well, this is kind of like a mystery, but there is a song called Night Shift
Yeah.
where this guy is like a night guard in this almost abandoned old hospital, and he is just finishing the last round of his night shift on that hospital, and then he hears a voice, he sees a shape, he smells something really weird, and then all the electric cuts off, and he's
Ah.
in the dark, and he's just going through the stuff that he hears and somebody approaching, and then he realizes that he's never going home from that last night shift. and uh,
Wow. That's
and
deep.
just a couple of examples on the
That's
kind of songs
good.
that I have, and they
That's
have
awesome.
nothing to do with
Yes,
the
that's good.
reality and my my own
I
life.
like that. I like that, man. Getting away from the normal depression of life and all
Yes,
that, and the
and
things that tear us down every day. Yeah,
yeah, and
I like
basically the
that.
reason why I have this kind of stuff on my album is also like, when when I have some spare time. Ever since I was a kid, I've been just drawing stuff and writing stuff and watching movies, playing video games, all
Yeah.
these kind of fantasy stuff, and that's my way of escaping.
Yeah, writing music is one of mine. I like to do digital designing also. I do graphics.
Yeah.
I paint also, but I paint on
Hmm.
jackets. I
That's
I,
cool.
lo- I
That's really
love
cool.
I love that. That's where I do the freehand stuff. Is when I do
Yeah.
my jackets. I don't. I make my own little patches of bands. 7 seconds, whatever patches. And I
Yeah,
put
yeah,
those.
yeah.
I put them on there. I don't know. I draw them all myself. I do.
Yeah.
I love it. So I appreciate that. But that's good. That's I
Yeah, and
I don't. I never heard of anybody that quite looking at things that way. And
hmm
honestly, that you're a unique person for that. That I appreciate that. So that's
Well,
cool.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And maybe one of the reasons why I've been like doing this creative stuff ever since I was a kid is probably that I grew up on the countryside, and not on a farm, but on a
yeah.
countryside, and there wasn't like a cell phones back then
Hmm.
because they came just a little bit later. But there wasn't like a cell phones, and there was like a 8-bit NES, like a Nintendo console.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so you sometimes
yeah.
we played those with my friends, but also like a lot of the things that I saw, like I was visiting my friends' places and we were watching some movies. Like for example, I remember this time I went to my friend's place and his big brother had a lot of movies and we watched a lot of them. Like for example, I remember this one time we watched Predator 2, and I didn't understand all of it, but it was so fucking cool. And I went home, and obviously, I didn't have Predator 2 on VHS or anything like this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just immediately rushed, took some paper, took some pencils, and I started drawing, like drawing what I remembered from the movie, like this. And I made like
Oh,
a little
wow.
comic book. Yeah. And that
That's
wasn't the
awesome.
first time, and not the last time. Like every time I saw somewhere something and I didn't own it, I had a really big hurry to start like just drawing it down when I still remember it.
That's a good idea. You know what I like is kind of funny when like this kind of sounds weird, but like sitting in the bathroom, okay, like when you're sitting in the bathroom going potty, you're looking around, and then you see like on the wall or see on the floor
Yeah,
designs in the floor. Like, have you ever like looked down and like, wow, that looks like a frog, or that looks like a turtle,
I've seen
or
that.
yeah, like
Yes, yes, yes.
designs, or there's an old man face right here in the tile
Yeah.
inside the tile,
Yes.
and I don't know. I do that a lot. I look around and I'm like, okay, that's something to draw. So I do something similar like that. Yeah,
And
I like
yeah,
that.
and those
Funny.
shapes you're seeing, I think I've also done that like with, you know, if you have like a wood, just wood
Yeah,
patterns.
wood patterns too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So like, hey, that looks like a face.
yeah, yeah. A big old snogging nose and stuff.
Yes,
It's like,
yes,
oh wow,
yes.
look at that. Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah,
So,
I get it. Yeah.
so do you have much of a following out there where you're at?
Yes. Yes, I
Like
think so. For example, like
fans?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that at least partially some followed directly from my old band,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there isn't so much like there's a small psychobilly scene in Finland,
yeah.
and we even had like a small festival, like a 2-day festival at some point, and there was like I would say like a couple of thousand, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, something like this, like a crowd
Yeah, yeah.
on those festivals. And so there is a scene. It's not the biggest scene in the world, but still it's a scene. So obviously the people are familiar with all the bands, just a handful of
Yeah.
like psychobilly bands in Finland. So if somebody does something and then they stop doing it and start doing something else, obviously the same scene will, like, you know, be
Exactly.
aware of it.
Yeah, yeah. So, hey, what was I gonna say? Damn it. Oh, uh, damn it. I just went blank. Holy shit.
No worries.
I had a question right at the tip of my tongue too. So, gosh, so do you have your new project, your rockabilly project? Do you have other tracks in the works right now? Some more,
uh
tra- some more tracks, more songs. Or
More
a new?
songs
Do
for
you have a
this.
new album? Yeah,
Yeah.
you have some that are.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyways, the kind of releases that I've been making for this project is like obviously I've been working on the full album with 12 tracks,
Yeah,
but because people have been so how would I say, like people are very passionate when they start asking like, come on, I want to hear something already, like please don't keep me waiting.
yeah, yeah,
So first of all, I had to start releasing those music videos, like basically like a one music video per 6 months. Like I release
yeah,
one, after 6 months I release another, then again another, and
yeah, yeah,
that keeps people like interested, and still like they are waiting for the full thing. Then there is this like really big psychobilly festival in Spain called Psychobilly Meeting. And then my label, I have my project is under this German small label called Bad Billy Records.
Okay.
So when we realized that last summer we couldn't get the full album ready for that festival, then we did this kind of, I can show you.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
did this kind of super limited edition of a CD, like with 6 songs, and
Hell yeah.
only for Psychobilly Meeting, because we wanted to
Yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
something new for people there.
Oh,
So basically, first I released like just a music video, then it was this 6-song EP, and then after this we've been finishing a couple of mixes for some other songs, and everything is going to come together during this year.
gotcha. Okay, now
Yeah.
I got my train of thought back. What
Okay.
is your favorite part? Creating the music or being on the stage?
That's probably an easy
Yeah,
question. Being on the stage, yes.
being on the
Be-
stage.
be- because because the thing is that when I started working on this album, I had no uh clear plan on what I want to do with it. I just wanted to do music, you know, continue where I left off with the last band. And it came like really obvious at some point that when people were asking like, when is the album coming out, are you gonna do gigs, when are you gonna do gigs,
Yeah,
and where are you gonna do gigs, then I was
exactly.
just
Those are the other questions. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So,
So then I was like, thinking like, oh shit, people are asking all the time about if I'm gonna do gigs. So I guess I'm gonna do gigs. And for that, I needed a crew because this album project is actually this kind of like a really super international project. I've had like a bass player from Germany doing like remote
Yeah.
recordings, like he records in Germany and then sends the tracks to
Yes.
Finland, and all these guest artists from all around the world, Brazil, UK,
Damn.
US, and
Woo.
a lot of people, Denmark and this kind of stuff. So it would be impossible to do a band with this kind of crowd. Like for every gig, I would
Exactly.
have to pay
Yeah.
everybody to come to Finland or wherever. Not possible. So I had to gather a very talented group of musicians from this city, and we have been rehearsing. We had our first gig last Halloween,
Ah.
and
And
we
how did
are
it go?
it was really great. We actually had like two guests from the album, like one from Denmark and the Irish guy Titch, who
Yeah.
actually lives here in Finland. So it was a bit easier to set up. But
Wonderful.
we could advertise it. We have special guests on stage, like international guests. It was really nice.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And so, anyways, we are starting our Finland tour for this year on the Easter Sunday, so next week, and
Oh, bitchin'.
we'll continue from there.
Awesome. That sounds awesome. Okay, wonderful. And do you have like okay, this is kind of interesting question, but do you have bands that you kind of compete with? Kind of like that
Mm,
you kind of don't necessarily work well on stage with, but you kind of want to, but sometimes things get a little rough, and there's a lot of competitiveness with bands. So, I mean, do you have any issues with playing your rockabilly out there?
no,
Is no competitiveness
no,
between
no, no,
bands?
no. I
Good
think that
unity.
yeah, because
Okay,
I
that's
think
good.
that if we have this kind of like a unity, and everybody supports each other and not try to
Yes,
compete with each other,
exactly.
it's like everybody wins in those scenarios.
It's very true. Very true. It's a
Yeah,
lose-lose situation when you're on your own.
yeah.
So,
And
yeah, you
actually,
definitely need everybody.
if I would be like a master marketing guy, which I'm, well, I could be better in the way, better marketing guy. If I would be a super uh, intelligent marketing guy, I would actually make this kind of feud, like
Yeah,
to get people excited, like what's gonna happen next? Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Exactly. I agree. I agree.
But even then I would only be okay with it if that was like fixed, like we would actually agree, like behind the scenes with the other band, like, hey, let's do this kind of like a show.
No doubt. I got you. Do you have some
Yeah.
bands that you actually play with all the time? Like, do you have like a group of bands that that you kind of work together a little bit?
Yeah. For example, all the other musicians in my live band,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have other bands.
They have other
So
bands.
so
Okay.
how we have set up the thing is that for the gigs coming this year, we usually have like at least one of the other bands of some other member there, so
Yeah.
they can just when we start playing, one of the guys is already exhausted from the last
Okay.
gig.
Uh, get him some Gatorade. Get
Yeah,
him
I was
some Gatorade.
actually, because the Halloween gig was supposed to go in the kind of
Buddy.
order that we were supposed to play, and after us was going to play this one other band, and the guitar player was the same. So obviously, it's not a nice thing to do, because I was a little bit worried that how can he do like a does he have enough stamina to do two gigs in a row?
Yeah.
But I was jokingly saying to him, like, hey, man, don't bother leaving the stage after our gig. Just stay there.
Just stay there. Just stay in your spot. No big deal.
Yeah. And he
That's
was
funny.
going like, fuck that shit. I'm not doing anything if I don't get my cigarette in between.
Oh no. Damn cigarettes.
Yeah.
So so is there anybody you would like to thank for your success so far in your music career?
Yes, everybody who has been involved, some people voluntarily and some people
Involuntary.
involuntary, but one way or the other, like I could have not done anything of this without the support of all the close people, like all the friends and
Of course.
everybody. Yeah. And but the thing is that obviously I also notice at some points that sometimes I just have to try and forget about all the people around me because I've noticed that sometimes when I'm like let's say making a new song and I'm starting to double guess myself like is this okay or is this not, like should I do this part in here or should I
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
and then I make the mistake of asking my close friends and all
Yes.
these people supporting, like I'm asking like what do you think, and everybody has a different opinion, and then I
uh
go like really confused like oh shit, I should have not asked.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And then I
Sometimes
just
you
have
just
to silence everybody and
exactly.
listen to my heart. Yeah.
Yep. Go back to your quiet place. Your
Yes.
quiet
And this actually happened just recently. Like the songs were mixing. Like I actually have a guy called Ryan Miles from
yeah.
US who is doing my mixing, and he's a really great guy. And he's also a friend of Vix. And we were doing a mix for the ninth song of the album, and it's actually this kind of like a spaghetti western style of song,
Yeah, yeah.
just a little bit different. And when I was like sending the track to Ryan, I was asking from a lot of people like, "What do you think? What do you think?" And everybody went like, "Well, I think you should rewrite this part, and you should do this, and you should this." And I was so overwhelmed, like, "Oh fuck, this song is never gonna be finished." And then I realized that I just cannot listen to anybody.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta block people out sometimes.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, I thank you so much, man, for being here today. And you've been a real blessing. And I found some really good inspiration from you. I appreciate you a lot, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Seem
and
like you
so
got your head
sorry
on your
for
shoulder.
sorry for disturbing your morning like this.
No, you're wonderful. Actually, it's been a great morning. I appreciate you.
Great.
Thank you so much, Della Roca. This has been the Rooster Show, and I thank you very much. And
Thanks again for inviting me. And
you're
please,
welcome.
anybody listening or watching, please go check the music videos. I hope you're gonna like them.
We will definitely. Well, we can find your music on Spotify, right?
Yes.
Or and
Yes.
iTunes.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
It's on
And you,
everything like TikTok, fucking Instagram, Facebook. It's everywhere.
right on, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, and you take care. And I will talk to you
Take
soon.
care. Thank you.
Yep. Bless you,
Bye
man.
bye.
Bye bye.